we define the motion into a criminal code where this criminal code is only occurs the procedure while the collective interest is already has been failed in the first place. Now the scheme is like this. For example, there's a boy that raped a girl. And in the end of the day, when there is the investigation, recheck and recheck from this court system and the court procedure that this boy is proven, for example, homosexual, and there are no intention to rape the girl, and it is unproven, and it is proven wrongly that they are not the real convicted in the first place. So it is actually the motion why the convict who have been wrongfully convicted need to be compensated. So we said that there is a judicial review in the first place. So if this has been proven wrongly, we said that the government, what should government do, right? In the question. Now we say what should government do? The first step in the status quo that this proposal, the government already limit the right of people in time of being convicted, Mr. Speaker, that it is unnecessary burden of people that taken by the government in the first place. Right? The government in the status quo only release these people because they are not, they are no longer convicted. We say that this is not enough. There is another expansion of the government. Government need a further expand policy in order to create, balanced situation within the government and also the society, Mr. Speaker. For example, there is a bad image for these people, or for example, there is certain right that already taken under the status quo proposal. Now we say that the form of compensation that opening government trying to propose, first, government have to give a public apology to the society that these people is no longer convicted and the government is actually, wrong to in the certain procedure there is miscalculation or even error. Second, government have to give the cash money in order to recovery, recovery the money condition of this convicted. Because when you are go to court, you need to rent a lawyer, right, in the first place. Now this money will goes into recovery this kind of the money calculation, Mr. Speaker. Now we say that our proposal, we still also improve the process of investigation. So this investigation will be improved in our proposal. It is not something mutually exclusive, Mr. Speaker. We still will can doing the improvement of the investigation in our proposal, Mr. Speaker. Now I'm going to talk to you one argument how we believe that this proposal will benefit for these people that already convicted. Before that, what's the comment?
Yes, if you've identified the courts as the primary wrongdoer, why don't you find the courts instead of having the state pay for it? Because the state and the courts are separate.
We say that this court is actually, independent. Yes, we consider that court is independent, Mr. Speaker, but we say that government have the supervision to the court, right? Now the one who are responsible for every single sector over the country is the state, right? Now at the end of the day, if there is the state and so on and so forth, the government needs to be responsible. We say that there is, internal punishment for the court itself that is not published for the society, for example. We say that this is not something that is mutually exclusive to our proposal. Now I'm going to talk to you one argument why it is benefit of compensating these people, Mr. Speaker. Firstly, it will recover the image of the convicted, Mr. Speaker, the ex-convicted. Now in the status quo, right, the image of these people is actually being bad. They are labeled by the society that they are bad people and just they are, there is a negative sentiment from victim family and victim relative and so on and so forth, Mr. Speaker. Now by public apologize, right? Now we say that these people will actually, and there is, the government have a clear stance that these people is actually no longer convicted, and it is, the court has a wrong decision into that thing, right? Now we say that the importance of recovery of the image is all talking about the self-esteem and how is talking about the personal branding, right? For example, if it is talking about, for example, company, we say that company have this image for company is actually important, and we say also self-esteem for people to actually confidence and being, their own self after being, victim of the court failure. We say that government have to do this proposal, right? The second level, how that it will create, credibility of the government, right? Now in the status quo, they only release these people from the jail, right? Now, say the government in the decision of the court, it should be fair and justice, right? Now, this court and the government actually take the unnecessary right from them, Mr. Speaker, because this unnecessary right should be given back when they are taken from the government, right? Now, say the government have the supervision for this court in the first place. Now, in the idea of the role of the government in the democratic country, we say that government have to promoting the equality before the law in the first place. That this equality before the law is will be achieved under our proposal because at the first time they are wrongly convicted, and it's going to be create a good promotion from the government to create equality before the law in the first place. Secondly, how it will create the credibility of court system. No, thank you. We say that the court system is something that is trustable inside the democratic country in order to create a justice, in order to create a good punishment in the first place. Now, what if the court done something bad, and we say it will recover the image of the court and so on and so forth. Secondly, we believe that inside a democratic country, government and society have the same bargaining position, right? Now, under our proposal, there is the benefit that told the society a clear stance that society also can rule the government and government can rule the society. This is what the idea of the democracy, right? Now we say that under our proposal, government giving a compensation to the society, and government have clear image that they are actually a wrong person, a wrong parties in the first place, so that's why they have to giving apology for the society, Mr. Speaker. Now in this kind of the action, society is more superior from the government. It shows to you that under this scenario there is a democratic value that being promoted, right? When the government and the society is actually two parties that is have the same bargaining position, and there is checks and balance from the society, also the government, and we say that it is good. That this message will have to send to the society that society have a main part also in democratic country, right? What opening government trying to talk to you so far? We believe why we should do the compensation, the state should do the compensation because it will bring benefit for the parties that is relieved. And secondly, because the government is being the one who made image by the condition, and secondly, it will promote the idea of the democracy that has been violated. So that's why we are proposing the motion.
We believe that the case from the opening government is still flawed because there is no clear process on how these people can be really proven innocent or wrongfully convicted, right, ladies and gentlemen. First, like the case that they brought, but like for example, after rechecking, like for example, a boy raped a girl, and then for example, he turned out to be homosexual. It can really be made be made up like this. The boy who thought to be raping the girl is just like the family of the guy can say that they're homosexual and all that stuff, and so it is thought to be wrongfully convicted. Whereas there are still many justice flaw in the justice system in the policy that the opening government is actually proposing. What the stance of the opening opposition is that we believe there's no need for compensation towards the convict that have been wrongfully convicted because the risk is already enough. Like even the clearing of the name and the apology has already in the status quo, and a form of compensation, not in the form of money, but in the form of helping for the people to get back on their feet and to get back on the job, is already being there in the society. Like for example, in the United States, there have been some cases where people have been wrongfully convicted, but then the government is have helped these people into getting back on the feet, and not in the form of money, right? As what the opening government is proposing. And the idea is like the government making the, all the case money and having the recovery money, and because they have rent the lawyer, we risk something, like renting the lawyer and all that kind of stuff, for the justice to be served. Like, we cannot just sit down and not just, because I'm innocent, I don't want to rent a lawyer. But the renting of the lawyer and all the risk that you take is needed in order for justice to be served, in order to prove yourself innocent. And I can see to the fact there may be some flaws that happen in the criminal court, like justice in the justice system. And the logic is here, like the flaws is like, there are some innocent people that have been wrongfully convicted, but there are also some bad people that are still roaming in the society. But the government is not exactly compensating the society for the existence of the bad people still roaming in the society. So therefore, the government is trying to do the best, is trying to serve the justice correctly for the society to feel the protection, to feel secure. And yes, before that.
If someone has already been convicted for 10 years sentence and stayed for prison for 2 years, and appealed and got out scot-free. What do you think about it?
Yes, I will explain that in my argument. I'll take note of that. Okay, but first, some several response toward the opening government, right? They said about the benefit for people and the image of the convicted is already being free and improving the self-esteem. But it is like, as I've already talked to you, like the apology is already there in the first place. Like even the government has compensated in the form of clearing the name in order for getting back on the feet, and I will explain more in the justification of why the state should not compensate. And the right of these people, as they've been talking about, is direct clashing with my points about right. Like the right of these people is not exactly getting the money, but the right of freedom and getting the life back. It is only what they need after for maybe being sentenced for 5 years in prison. The idea is like these people only want to get out of prison, only want to feel the fresh air or like the outside world, ladies and gentlemen. The right that they deserve is just that, ladies and gentlemen, because the democracy and the equality will not be there just because the government is sending the money. And the idea of democracy should not stand because they consider the fact that the government is standing side by society. Therefore, the government should not act as like it is a higher form of organization. Should just pay for the society, and therefore the government is claiming name, like the government is like, okay, we're innocent, we're just paying you the money of the compensation. But in reverse, the government itself has done the justice while they're actually doing the investigation. They have the FBI, like for example, all the Secret Service, and in order to protect society. And even if like in the end the wrong people is being convicted, whatever means is necessary to take to protect the society is what is being served here, because the justice is already being served. Like all this process on the system is already being fulfilled, ladies and gentlemen. So let's just come to my argumentation about why the state should not compensate. First is just the justification of why the state should not compensate. First, as already been said, like the justice system has already been served here. Maybe like for example, there is a new fact towards the case, like maybe after 5 years, a new witness have just come out and say like proven like this the people that are being convicted is innocent. We cannot bear the responsibility of that person not witnessing for 5 years because maybe he or she is just afraid of confessing towards the criminal court. But maybe after 5 years, these people will be okay. I'm finally ready to come out and to say what's actually happening in the case. Like for example, and second of all, the criminal court is not just randomly convicting people out of nowhere, ladies and gentlemen. These people that are being convicted, these people that are being, thought to be the criminals, are actually related to the case and related to the case, and maybe there's something to do with the actual criminal or something like that. But they're not maybe 100% wrong for the case or for murder and all the criminal things that have been done, ladies and gentlemen. And second of all, the psychological state of the convicts. Why is actually the compensation is not necessary? It's just an unnecessary burden for the government. We believe that the freedom and the right to live back, to getting the life back, is already is just enough for these people, because when criminal records have already been cleared, like they can get back to the family, and you don't know how it feels like for them just to get out of the prison and just feel a breath of fresh air, and no amount of money can pay for that kind of feeling, right, ladies and gentlemen. And they do not care about like how many money they give. And the problem with the proposal from the government is like they do not clear how much money, how much what is the process of giving the money, and for the what's money is going to be used and all that kind of stuff. Like in terms of the family, we believe that when the government is actually already being is already taking care of these people to get back on the feet, to get back on the job, and all those other stuff, because the name has already been cleared, they don't have any criminal records at all. They can themselves have themselves to give back to the society and be a better person, because they have been served the time in jail in prison for whatever the crime that they have wrongfully convicted with. So what I've been told you in my speech, ladies and gentlemen, we believe there is no need to compensate for these people, because the justice that have been made by the government is already enough. And even some flaws have in the government, there are also some the reverse psychology that have already been explained, and the psychological state of the convicts show that the compensation money is not necessary and that the freedom is already enough in the Therefore, we're very more than